Alright, so if you're a coach or a content creator trying to scale to 50, 75, or even $100,000 per month, this is the video that you actually want to watch all the way through, because today I'm breaking down the same exact funnel that TJR Trades is using to consistently pull in $1 million months with his info product, and it doesn't have any crazy funnels, any crazy content strategy. It literally got the simplest content out of this whole space, a warm audience, and a really simple backend process. So if you stick around until the end, I'm not just gonna show you how this funnel works, I'm also gonna break down how you can exactly take the same funnel and implement it into your own coaching business. So let's get into it. As we all know, there's a really simple strategy behind every info product that is doing these crazy numbers, and the strategy is to get eyeballs, get some kind of attention, just, get traffic to your pages, which is super important, generate leads that are gonna get interested in your product, then nurture those leads with your content, and then convert those leads into money in your pocket and print some crazy numbers. And today I'm gonna literally be breaking down exactly how TJR generates traffic, how it generates those leads, and how he converts those leads into money in his pocket. First things first, I wanna start with how he actually generates his traffic, which is super important, because I think that traffic and attention is 60% of an info product, because you could have the best offer in the world with 100% success rate, the best guarantee, the best setters in the space, the best VSL, but if you don't have any kind of traffic to your offer, everything is gonna be useless and you're not gonna make any money. So one thing that really needs to be dialed in is how you generate traffic and overall just getting attention and leads to your product. Let's get into it. He got three sources of traffic, which are his main short form pages, his clipping pages, and his YouTube, which is fundamental. I'm gonna get into that in a second, but let's start with the main short form pages. So he got his TikTok with almost 800,000 followers, where he mainly posts brain rot and lifestyle content, which obviously attract people. But on IG, he's basically teaching and showing people how he makes $300,000 per month at a young age. We all know that he makes way more, but to not make it sound like scammy or exaggerated, he basically kind of adapted to that 300k per month. As you can see here, is nothing like the typical guru that you see online trying to sell his course. That's exactly why he stands out so much from the crowd. He's raw and he doesn't pretend to be someone that is not. Another thing is that TJR built a really solid brand vibe. As you can see here, his posts always got the same camera filter on. He's always kind of has these flexing photos and that kind of stuff. Because everything that he puts out has the same look, same tone, and same energy. It's so dialed in that you start to instantly associate that vibe with him. When you see a post like this, you think it's like a TJR post. Over time, it doesn't even feel like content anymore. It just feels like him. Because, the moment that you switch your content up too much, people just get confused and stop following you. But, with him, you see the content and you know immediately that it's his content, because he always kind of got the same content. Let me make an example here. The other day I was watching an Imangaji video, and while he was talking, the editor put a meme in there, and I was not expecting at all, because of the whole all money brand that he built around himself. And watching memes in his videos is not something that we are used to, and it kind of felt weird. But when you're watching TJR's content, if you hear him saying something stupid, if you watch him doing something stupid, it's normal, because he built a brand around that, and that normalized doing dumb shit, posting dumb videos, and doing dumb stuff like that. But if TJR was out of the blue to start posting like really elegant, really serious videos, obviously a ton of people would simply stop following him, because the brand that he built is not a serious and all money brand. Same thing for Imangaji. If out of the blue he would start posting like flexing posts with these crazy cars, crazy chains, and that kind of stuff, obviously a ton of people will stop following him, because the main reason they follow him is because they like the vibe of the brand. So make sure to always keep the same vibe. Try to not switch up too much your content because people are gonna feel it a lot. So let's get into his short form strategy. He's posting 3 times per day minimum, and he's lapping 99% of the online coaches out there that flex that they post 1 or 2 times per day, and that's how we get some crazy traffic to his offers. He's posting raw, funny, super random content, which is a style that is actually working like crazy, especially recently, and is literally the living proof of it. You could have 10 other coaches post the same exact stuff and none of them would actually blow up with it, because it all comes down to personality. These are kind of dumb videos, and TJR really knows how to make people laugh. He's a funny guy. So if you put 10 other coaches trying to blow up with the same content, they will get, I think, not even half the views that is getting right now. This content system works extremely well, but only for a couple of people. An example of it would be Breastscale, which scaled this offer to crazy amounts of money, like this guy right here with this content strategy, Samuel Millsap, which is printing money thanks to this short form content strategy. Because, once you crack the code to these raw, low effort videos, which, trust me, is way harder than it looks, because you gotta be really careful. Because, if you post a too much controversial video, or if you post a video that is too stupid, it could hurt the image of your personal brand, and then people just don't see you as a leader, and don't really see you as a professional. So once you crack the code, it's literally game over, because you can just start spamming this video non-stop. They're super easy to make after you figure them out, because obviously you don't have no crazy setup with 10 cameras, you don't have no script, you just hit record and go. You film whatever you want, you say whatever you want, and that's why they're so powerful, because it takes literally 2 minutes to make them, and the return on this video is crazy. Because as you can see here, it's getting 262, 270, 827,000 views. Another reason as of why he goes so viral is because he posts controversial content that makes people laugh, and as we all know, controversial content is known to go easily viral. As you can see here, this is an example of a video that got 2.5 million views. I think right now it's 2.6, 2.7, and he's basically telling people how to switch up on their day ones, which is controversial as hell. So this is kind of his whole short form strategy, super super easy, but at the same time it's complicated to replicate, because not every online coach out there can implement these type of videos in their personal brand, because it would simply not look good. Let's get into the clipping pages, because I think it's 50% of all the traffic is getting. So he got his clipping pages. His main clipping page is his alt account. We all know that IG is famous for banning people out of the blue. So if they ban him on his main account, he always got his alt account with a really good following, which is also his clipping page, where he basically posts funny and luxury lifestyle content, which attracts people. And it's usually 2 videos every single day on the clipping accounts too. So this is his main clipping page, and these are some secondary clipping pages which are doing really good for him. They're getting like thousands of views per video, and if you multiply it per 2 videos every single day, they're really getting some good views for him. So yeah, clipping is key for brand awareness. It's literally top of funnel content that spreads fast and gets in front of a ton of people. It pulls in a ton of leads, and as we all know, I'm gonna get into that in a second, it's got this system in place to funnel them straight into offers that actually convert. So I think that it's not that much an important part, but it's still a good part of the monthly traffic that he's getting to his offer. So lastly, but not because it's the least important, it's his YouTube, which is fundamental. Like, it would not close 90% of the leads that he's closing right now if he wouldn't have his YouTube. He's posting almost every day on YouTube too, which is crazy to me. Like, it's something insane, and it's really really impressive. And he's basically posting in self trading. It's he's posting these hour long videos basically just dropping some crazy value. Wait, give me 1 second, sorry. Just dropping this crazy value and actually showing proof that he knows what he's doing and it is not a guru, but that he actually does what he teaches people. As you can see here, this is proof that he actually trades. And obviously, when someone watches a 56-minute video of him, is gonna be super warm and ready to buy the product. And as you can see, these videos get some crazy amount of views, like 95k, 88k, 59k, 120,000 views, 91, 60, and 41,000 views. He's getting some pretty insane amount of views for this style of content, which is not famous for the views that it generates, but for the money that it makes. Another crazy thing that he got on his YouTube is how many videos he got. He got 1,600 videos, which I dare you to go on YouTube right now and find me another creator that got the same amount of videos. I checked it out before recording the video. Imangaji, which got way more followers than him, got I think 450 videos. So it's something crazy. And when you are this much consistent, and when you post content at this high volume, at some point it's gonna be impossible for you to not make any money or to not get any views. So that's something that I really respect, because you got some crazy videos, and this content is also not too flashy, it's not crazy edited, but it's really focused on just dropping value, which eventually my bad, I'm retarded as hell. Value builds trust, and that's what basically closes the deal on the sales call. And as I already said like 10 times, it's an insane nurturing process. Basically his whole content strategy is prioritizing quantity over quality, because as I already said, these are not some crazy edited videos. These are really raw and basic videos of him just dropping value. Same thing for the clipping pages, they're not that crazy. And also on his main short form pages, he just has some pretty raw basic videos where he focuses on quantity over quality. But how does he actually convert all of this traffic? Right here I showed you some crazy numbers. So what is the process to actually get these people who might have seen his videos for the first times, and how does he convert them into actual interested leads that get interested in what he does and in his product? Now here's the thing. Because he posted so many videos, because he has been so consistent with his content, he unintentionally did something that most people skip. He figured out his audience. He knows what gets clicks, he knows what keeps his audience watching, he knows what they care about and what they ignore. And that level of understanding is gold. Like, unfortunately, it's something that 99% of coaches skip. But understanding what your audience wants is super important, and it's not something that you can skip if you wanna get to these crazy levels right here. So he basically got his ideal client profile completely dialed in, which is something that every single online coach should do, because after putting out so much content and watching what it's, he knows exactly who he's speaking to. I'm sure he watched his sales call, he knows the people in his program and why they bought, he knows their pain points, what hooks them, what makes them trust, and what gets them to take action. His content is literally built for one specific person, and that's why it works. It works well because in his marketing, when he's calling out his target audience, because he got that so dialed in, obviously people are gonna be feeling understood, and they're gonna be like, wow, this guy knows my situation so well, he knows it better than me. If he knows what I'm struggling with so well, I'm sure that he was there, and I'm sure that he can get me where I wanna get. And yeah, let's see how he actually converts that traffic to his products. So on TikTok and on Instagram, he got two different links. The first one is apply to be my students, which we're gonna be looking at in a second, and learn how to day trade for free, which is free course. And on YouTube, he got the mentorship, which is this site right here. He got his free course, which is this one right here, These are just his affiliate codes, which don't even matter. And then this is just another WAP affiliate link. But when you actually click on learn how to day trade for free, you get sent to this page right here, which is not one of the best opt-in pages in this world, but because of his traffic and because of his huge audience, it doesn't even matter that much. Obviously, we're not gonna criticize people that are doing some crazy number like that. So, TJR's free 5 hours day training 101 course built to help you become profitable. Enter your info below to get instant access. They ask you for your name so that they use it in the email marketing. They ask you for the email address so that they can start sending you emails, and you basically get into their email flow where they either try to sell you the higher ticket offer to watch the VSL, to watch the content, or they try to get you in his free course, and obviously the phone number so that the dialer and the setters can hit you up and try to book the lead on a call. And once you click here on yes, I want access, you end up on these pages, which is not something that a lot of creators have, which is basically another page where they try to understand who their target audience is and how much capital they got. So the question are, how much capital do you currently trade with? I trade on a funnel account, 5 to 10, 10 to 50, 0 to 1,000, 1,000 to 5,000, and 50,000 plus. I know that it sounds like a trading questions, but the reality is that they're trying to understand how much capital they got to invest in their mentorship. Because, usually if they got, let's say, $10,000 that they trade with, obviously they're gonna have also the money to buy the program. But if they basically have $0 to $1,000 and don't even have the money to actually trade, obviously they're not gonna have the money to even buy the product. Second question is, on a scale from 1 to 10, how would you rate your current trading experience or level? And here is, share a bit about your trading journey so far. What are your biggest struggles, obstacles, and that kind of stuff. And usually when someone puts like a 10 lines reply right here, it's basically already sold on the program. He already opened up, not even on the call. So, the setter got the email that he took here, got the phone number. They just have to book him a call and close him. But when someone just, replies like, I want to get better at trading, obviously there's a little bit more selling to do. So you get into the free community, he keeps on watching the content, and he gets nurtured even more to the point where it's ready to buy the product. So once you click access the course, right here you get sent to this page where they basically tell you that they send the free course to the email. And to optimize the people that join, they also tell you to check the inbox for instant access, and that they have to make sure to check their promotion or spam folder if they don't see within 2 minutes, to make sure that every single lead that opts in this page actually gets the course. And basically I got a whole video on how the free community funnel works. If you want to, it's just the video right before this. Go click on that. There's crazy value in it, but I'm not gonna stay here and talk about it. So when you actually click on apply to be my student, you get sent to his actual VSL, more direct selling page. The branding is on point. As you can see here, the blueprint. This system will create the next wave of profitable traders in 2025. Discover my unique approach and how I've helped thousands of traders. This is proof and kind of results, just like you become consistently profitable. Saying next wave of profitable traders in 2025 creates some sense of new method, which is obviously TJR's unique mechanism, and that's how he actually stands out from all of the other trading programs out there. Another really good thing that he got is the Trustpilot logo right here. If you are a coach and you got some clients and some results, I really recommend you to put a Trustpilot link, because it's just gonna boost the conversions and people are gonna be more sure to buy your product. And down here you simply got all the features of his program, which they simply optimized during the years of having this info product through market research, through feedback. They were basically probably asking people in the community or simply to his audience, what do you want from me? What do you want in your program? What do you need to learn? And that kind of stuff. And they came up with live calls with TJR, trade reviews, exclusive blueprint community. So once you click down here to access the blueprint, you get sent to this opt-in page right here. I already told you what this is for. So you put your name, your email, and your phone number. You get into the email sequence, and the setter is just gonna call you up. Then you agree to this legal stuff, and you get sent right here to this page where there's basically the VSL and some proof right here and a type form to see if you're qualified. So first thing first, obviously, because 90% of the leads that are gonna click on this page are monkeys, they got this do not close this page banner up here to make sure that people do not randomly go away. The branding is on point. They got this kind of progression barrier right here. And this is the VSL. Something that I will put here is an option to put it full screen, which they don't have right now. This is the CTA. And down here you got all the results, all the testimonials and that kind of stuff, the Trustpilot logo, the WAP verified logo, so that people feel more secure on buying and on pulling the trigger. Right here you have the type form to understand if a lead is qualified for the program or not. So first question is, what do you think your biggest obstacle is when it comes to trading? And you got multiple different options. They're basically trying to silently understand if you're qualified for the program or not. The second question is your email. The third question is the age. The fourth question is, what would you hope to gain out of working with TJR, which is something that they're usually going to use on the sales call, or let's say they see 10 people all saying, I wanna learn X, Y, and Z. On their marketing, they're gonna put, we teach you how to X, Y, and Z. Same thing for the age demographic. If they see that most of his audience is under 18, which is really not, they're obviously gonna use a language for people under 18 years old, and obviously they're not gonna talk like they're talking to 50 years old. And these two questions are the ones that actually matter and that decide if you're gonna get on a call or not. So do you have any income source at the moment? Yes, I do not have. I do have an income source. No, I don't. If you click on no, you're gonna get directed to this page right here where you simply reject it, where they say, we are reviewing your application. Our team will contact you within 48 hours for an update. In the meantime, here's an exclusive offer just for you. Obviously, they're gonna email him saying that he didn't get in, but here they're basically trying to sell their ebook, which usually at the end as a CTA to his free community and that kind of stuff, to make sure that they don't lose any lead over time and to make sure that he is getting retargeted. So they're basically selling this ebook right here, which is used to retarget the lead. But when you say that you got the money and that you're ready to invest, you get sent to this page right here where you can book your call. Obviously, more testimonials and proof right here to make people feel sure. When you book the call, you get sent to another page with a nurturing video that destroys objections and confirms the call, so that they improve their show up rates. The goal of the nurturing video is to basically destroy all the objections and make sure that the lead is gonna hop on the call, so that the only job of the closer is to reply to a couple of questions and just collect the money. So yeah, this was basically his whole website and funnel. Now let's see how he actually converts his leads, which is basically his sales process, which people don't see because obviously it's in the backend of the info product. But before we actually get into the last point and learn how you can turn those leads into money, if you're watching this and thinking that this could work for your offer, you're probably right. And if you want more clarity on how to actually plug it in to your coaching or consulting business, if you open a call with me, I'm gonna literally tell you 100% for free what content to use, how to structure the backend, how to turn attention into high ticket sales on repeat. So Whether you like it or not, you're gonna live with a clear path to $100,000 per month. This week I'm doing a couple free audits, so just booking a call through the link below and you're gonna get some crazy value. It's for a limited time only, and obviously it's not for everyone. Let's get into the last part. So once the type form is filled out, the setters or dialers take over and handle everything. They call every single lead to qualify them and lock in a sales call when they're qualified if possible. You know, Another super important thing is that every call is made within 2 hours when the lead is still warm. I don't know if you ever seen the graph, but the lead is warm until like 30 to 40 minutes. So that's when they're most likely to pick up, and then it just completely drops down to not having any reply. So make sure that every call is made within 2 hours to give TJR sales team an advantage and more possibility that they're gonna actually pick up their phone. After the call is booked, they make sure that the lead watches the VSL and goes through a set pre-call process to show up warmed up and ready to join the program, so that the closer only has to collect the money. Let's actually get into the pre-call process. Take your notes out, because this is super important. The lead usually books the call in 4 days maximum. Then the setters creates a WhatsApp group chat with the lead, the closer, and TJR's WhatsApp business account to keep everything warm and moving, and to kind of make the lead feel special, because they think obviously they are in a group chat with TJR's private number, but in reality they're not. So then TJR business account sends a message telling the lead to check out a video, which is gonna nurture them even more and prepare them for the call. I don't know if this is an automation of if there's someone on the number actually sending it out personally, but the important thing is that they're nurturing the lead even more. And then the closer starts talking with the lead, and this happens as soon as the call is booked. So all of this is as soon as the call is booked, they get added. They send them the video. Once they're done with the video, the closer starts talking with the lead to keep it warm and to make sure that it's gonna show up to the call. Then 24 hours before the call, they get a reminder on WhatsApp. 12 hours before the call, they get a reminder. 1 hour before, they get another reminder. 5 minutes, they get a reminder and the call link, all on WhatsApp. Obviously, same thing for automatic email and SMS operation. As soon as they book the call, on the emails, they get the confirmation email, and then they get all this reminder. Same thing for the SMS operations to make sure that they show up on the call. If let's say they don't have this implemented, they get a show up rate of 45%, with this process right here, all these reminders and this kind of keeping the lead warm, their show up rate goes up to 75%, because people forget about stuff. They got a lot going on in their lives, and if they're not prioritizing changing their lives, they're simply gonna forget about the call. That's why we need to stay on them. They don't have to stay on us. So it's our work and our job to make sure that they show up to the call. Now, this is the actual secret to every $1 million info product, which is every number is tracked. And you cannot have an info product that is constantly growing if you're not tracking every single number. Because let's say for example, on this sheet they're tracking how many closed leads they got, the revenue that they collected, the cash collected after fees, the calls booked, the total calls, the live calls, how many no-shows they got, people that joined, people that didn't join, the payment type, the payments complete, the objection, the if they need follow-up, the call notes, the call source, and the call recording. Why is this important? For example, if they see that 10 leads got the same objection in their marketing, they're gonna address that objection so that the sales process is way smoother and easier. Same thing for the call notes. Or maybe if you don't track numbers like this and you don't know what your show up rate is, what your no-show rate is, and you simply say it might be low, it might be high, and you don't actually know the number, you don't know that it needs to be improved. Because if you think that you have a good no-show rate, but in reality 70% of your leads are not showing, you simply don't know that it needs to be improved, and you're not gonna improve it. You're constantly gonna get no-shows. And that's why keeping every single number on a sheet, every single KPI tracked is super important, and it's not something that needs to be overlooked. If you want to, just DM me on IG or on X. I can send you this personal tracking sheet that I use for every single one of my clients. And yeah, I literally broke down every single thing about TJR funnel, from content to the sales process. If you enjoyed this video, just follow me right here. Thank you so much for watching it. You know, if you're a coach or a content creator with an audience, a bit of traction, a bit of traffic, and you know that you should be making way more money, just book a call through the link below. I'm literally gonna make a personalized plan on which funnel you should implement, and then I'm gonna implement it for you on the call 100% for free. So if you're looking to scale to $50,000, $100,000 per month, just booking a call through the link below. Appreciate you so much for watching this video, and see you in the next one.